Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? As mentioned, the daily financial news, we have the top 1% agent in Arizona, Laura Morby, with us this morning. How you doing, Laura?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. So I saw a post from your husband yesterday that really sparked this idea. It might have been the day before. He's actually doing it twice now, I guess. He was standing, or he showed a picture of a yellow bug, right? A
Oh yeah,
Volkswagen
I know.
bug.
I know that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
And he basically said he and his partner were going to give it away.
Mhm.
And I'm like, he's amazing. I mean, come on. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if it's already given away. I don't know the whole story. But when I think about you and Pace, you're really leading by example in giving back and giving away. So I just have to ask. I mean, where did this come from? I mean, what was it? Mom and dad very early on. Was it something you and Pace stumbled into? Because it's definitely part of who you two are.
So for Pace is just born that way. So Pace has this personality type, and again, it's two sides to one coin. So he'll make sure that everyone's taken care of. And I don't know if I've mentioned this on here before, but he actually purchased an employee a house before he bought us a house. So like he was just like, "Oh, your landlord's going to sell your house. Well, I'll buy it and
No,
I'll
wow.
let you live there." And he let him live there for free for like 4 years. And the guy left, and then we were like, "Oh, okay, I guess we'll sell it."
Guess we gotta sell it now.
Um,
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
like that's totally Pace's style. And Pace is always like, even now, like he has a truck and a Prius. There never are both cars here. Never, never. There's always someone, even people who aren't even in town for him. If he's like, "Oh, you're coming to town, why don't you take my Prius?" So, um, yeah, he gives his cars away all the time personally for people to use. And then he's also like the king of buying houses that have cars in them. Like we already got another one this like 2 weeks ago. We got another one. We had someone at an HOA. We purchased a house probate. We had someone in the HOA come by, and they were like, "Hey, like here's your spot." And we're like, "Oh, car's in there, whatever." We didn't think anything of it. And then like some of the neighbors kept coming over, and they're like, "Hey, are you gonna sell the car?" And we're like, "What car?" And they were like, "The car. And can we buy it from you?" And we're like,
I guess we got a car, honey.
"We got a car." And so we like went through the house, and the title was in there and the keys were in there. It's actually really nice. Like it's just a Ford. It's nothing like exciting, but yeah, we're gonna give that to our foreman. And
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, Pace is always, I mean, I think this is probably gonna be like the 20th or 30th car that he's given away.
Wow.
And the yellow bug I actually know really well. We got it from another probate situation, and um, the executor of the state was a sister, and was like, "I don't want the car, I don't need it." And so we've had that car for 2 years, and we gave it to um, a door knocker who wasn't even, he door knocked for Pace for a little bit, but Pace just let him have it. And he has autism,
Mm.
and like totally high functioning, but like, but he was a great door knocker. And so Pace was like, "Hey, you need a car? Like, here, take the bug." So he's had the bug for 2 years. And
That's
I
awesome.
think that he's bought his own car that he likes a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny to see that. But Pace has always been super giving. And then like, I don't know, somehow I've always like done stuff where, I mean, a lot more like organizational, but like even like I was a part of like a service club in high school where you like go and do like service projects. So I like voluntarily just joined to like do stuff. And I think that's a really good way to feel. I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing to do in so many ways. It's emotional income. So
Right.
I mean, it's not just all about making money, and Pace is huge on emotional income. Like, I feel like Pace could probably survive off of emotional income. And it's not like at first I was like, "Oh, like, what, why do you keep doing this?" And it truly does. He loves it. He loves doing stuff like that. So he just actually, I didn't even know he was going to do this too. He made me cry, and I'm not a crier. Like, I'm just not a crier. But we've had our construction manager, Anna, who is wonderful. Again, I think everyone should follow her too, because she's always doing property walkthroughs. and she's fantastic. She sets our remodel budgets and decides what we're going to do. She's great. She's Anna Martinez. If you look at me, you can find her. Um, but Pace went to a buy appointment like 2 days ago, and he took his sister. And his sister is kind of trying to get into the investing world. And so I was like, oh my gosh, did she find that lead already? That's so cool. And so he came home and I was like, hey, you took McLaren on a buy appointment. That's awesome. And did she find the lead? And he was like, oh no, but I just wanted to take her and I wanted to show her what it was like. And McLaren is, anyone in the Morby family could just destroy sales. Like they're all just, oh my gosh. So I'm like, oh my gosh, McLaren's gonna just
Crush it.
yeah, she's gonna be so good. And so then the next day he gave the house to Anna. He bought the house and he gave it to Anna. And Anna has been, she was married when we first met her. And, since then she's now a single mom and she's got two beautiful boys and I've watched them grow up. I love them both very much. And she's, a huge part of our lives and our business. And she's been with us in the construction company and she's been with us at Homebusters and she's been with us for our wholesale business and our fix and flip business. She's done it all. She wears all the hats. And it was just really cool to see her. I mean, we've been like trying to get her to like get an investment property. And, but she's never had her own house since she's, been with us. And so Pace gave her a house and I was like, I was just talking to you about that last night about McLaren and I had no idea that you were going to give it to Anna the next day. And then everyone was like, wow, Laura, good job. And I'm like, honestly, this was not me. I mean, I'm so happy, but this was all in Pace's mind. Wow. But he's just the kindest, most generous person. And emotional income is big in this business. And if you you were talking in our last one that we just did about like a scarcity mindset. Like Pace could have been like, that's an East Valley house in a hot area. There's no way I'm giving that away. But like, what is it, and it's not even about like buying somebody loyalty. Like even if Anna left us tomorrow, like we don't care. It's we love Anna, right. And so and she deserves that, so
that's great.
I don't know. It's just interesting to think about. But don't have like a scarcity mindset. And if you can give back or you see somebody that needs something, then, and you can do something about it, then do it,
Yeah, I want to hit that harder because a lot of people hear these stories about giving a car away or a house away or any of these things or money, right? And they're like, love to do it, can't do it. But I want to remind people, sometimes the biggest thing to give away is your time.
Yeah.
Right. And all of us have that. Right. And even if it's not necessarily giving away via a service club or a charity or an event, sometimes just sitting down with somebody who's having a bad day or somebody that's trying to get in the business and you're a little bit ahead of them. I mean, I think about you, Laura, we've never met in person. We had one conversation and I said, hey, you want to do this weekly? And you're like, yeah, let's do it. It was fun. Right. So you're giving us an hour of your weekend to help people around the world. So again, that's just it's really a mindset of the entire Morby family. So thank you.
Yeah. And too, like you were talking about, like not having like anything monetary to give away and time.
Yeah.
You can even combine the two. So we work in a business where we're interfaced with sellers and most of them have a problem. And you know what, maybe sometimes thinking outside of the box for like what your traditional job is to buy their house and think about what you can do else to help them. Like I've actually helped people move. I have, something that's coming to mind actually is about the yellow bug people. She had no idea how to get like the bank account switched over and her sister had some sort of like monthly check coming in and she had to go figure that out and stuff. And she was not savvy on that at all. And I mean, I've never done it before. I've never inherited anything, but I told her, I was like, let me come over and I will help you. And so we met like 6 or 7 times and each time was like an hour and a half. And like, I'm busy. I don't have time to do that, but I love Cheryl. Like I like still like talk to her today. And I was able to like, even if I didn't know, I was like calling our probate attorney and being like, hey, I'm filling out this thing. Like, what do I need? And so just doing stuff like that, where you're like that meant the world to her. It probably would have taken her 2 years, and she would
Oh,
have
it
put it off.
may never have happened. I mean, let's be clear, right? Maybe.
Yeah, and then I was able to help her over a couple of like little meetups and then get to know her and her husband. And, we were, and then talking about her sister. Like that's the
Uh,
other thing too, is like she's like
yeah.
just, it just made her, and it made me feel better too, to like understand who this woman was. And
Mhm.
so yeah, like you can do stuff to give back, like even within the business that, you might even be missing, where you're like, oh, you'll figure that out.
Mm,
Oh, you got that. I don't need to help you with that. You're fine, and
mhm.
if you just take, a little bit of time, and then, it makes you feel good. And I like after that, like there was a couple times I was like, this, I really don't have time today, and she's coming in. But then after the fact, I was like, wow, like I actually made a difference in her life, and I helped her in a way that she was going to have a hard time. And so yeah, just doing stuff like that too. Like there's always an opportunity. I guarantee you, with like
Yeah.
every seller you deal with, um, that you could find a way to help them out a little bit.
Yeah. I like the idea of emotional income. You've said that a couple of times. It really hits home. I've always called it good karma, putting, good karma points on the board.
Mm.
I believe in all of that. I don't know that I could survive on emotional income, but it's certainly very important to me.
Tastes definitely good.
Yeah, I mean, that is awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
other closing thoughts on this? Because it's an important topic. More and more people need to think about emotional income, right? It's not all about dollars and cents. I think that is, if you can take anything away from Laura and Pace, it's that emotional income is important.
Yeah. Well, my biggest takeaway is if you haven't done anything like this, do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways. Go join your local Habitat for Humanity. We're in housing. That's a good way to get seller that needs something. Or if you're currently working with a seller and you know that they have a problem that you're like, that's not my wheelhouse, but you can help, maybe you help,
Mhm.
and maybe someone needs a ride to go pick up a death certificate. I've done stuff like that
Yeah.
too, where I'm like, okay, well, I'll just be your taxi, and make sure that you get other stuff that you need
Mhm.
done. Or if you do it, like say you buy a house and has a car in it, apparently this is common, or maybe it's just Pace is common. You've done like 20 houses that have cars, so next time you do that, rather than being like, oh, I'll keep it and I'll use it as a company car or something like that. Maybe like everyone knows somebody in their
Yeah.
circle who needs it. And if you don't, then maybe do something on social media,
Yeah.
or maybe put out on social media like, hey, I'm looking for somebody who might be in need, and just see how it makes you feel. Just do it one time and see how it makes you feel.
That's awesome. Well, with that, we will close it out. Laura, how can people follow you, be a part of your world, or buy a house in Arizona?
Phone number is 480-717-2070. And my Instagram is Laura Morby, all together, no spaces.
Thank you, Laura. Have a wonderful day.
You too.